Hey guys, it's You Whack, and whenever a brand new hero comes out, I love to do this kind of video where we talk about a team composition to work around the brand new hero. I've done this with a bunch of heroes, but now that Wrecking Ball or Hammond, which I don't know, whatever you guys call it, that's fine. I just call him Hammond because my theory is you don't call Diva Mecha. You know what I'm trying to say? So I call Hammond because that's the hero I think of. But we're not here to talk about what you call the brand new hero. What we're here to talk about are the heroes that you want to try to play with Wrecking Ball or Hammond. But the thing about Hammond is that he's not a hero that desperately needs a lot of heroes for him to really excel. He can kind of hold out on his own just because his toolkit provides him a lot of outs in a lot of sticky situations. But that doesn't mean there aren't a few heroes in the game that can really help him out, and some heroes you might not think of, but really that's what this video is supposed to do, is to help you think about Wrecking Ball and his strengths and what you can really play, because I guarantee you in a competitive game there's going to be a time where you're not going to know who to play because, well, Wrecking Ball got insta-locked. So hopefully this video can just help you just decide who you need to play to really help Wrecking Ball just excel, but also just help your own personal game. So let's get started and talking about the heroes that you want to try to play with Hammond. So Hammond is obviously this big, hefty tank, but the way that I see him is sort of like this off tank. At first, I thought he was going to be somewhat similar to Winston just because of the play style, but really he's not, because with an off tank, they're not really there to protect the team. Someone like Reinhardt, someone like Orisa, those guys are main tanks and they're there to protect the team. Yes, they can get some kills here and there, but they're not going to be getting their hands dirty. Hammond is going to be getting in the back lines. Hammond is always going to be getting a lot of kills, or as much kills as possible. He's not going to be the main killer on the team, but he's not there to really protect the team. So that's the kind of idea that you need to think of when playing with Hammond, and the kind of play style that he's going to be kind of expressing throughout the whole entire game. So you want to try to play heroes that really work with that off tank style. And so for the first tank, because usually you always think of like DPS or healers you want to try to play, with me, I always want a specific tank, and that specific tank is going to be someone like Zarya, because it's a win-win situation whenever you play with the two. Now it is a little bit difficult because you don't have a main tank in there. You don't have a Reinhardt or Orisa or even a Winston to help really protect the team. But the way that I see it is that Wrecking Ball feeds off of Zarya and Zarya feeds off of Wrecking Ball. I'm going to be switching back and forth between the names Wrecking Ball and Hammond, so don't get bothered by that. But Hammond, he's supposed to be getting in the mix of every single fight. He's going to be diving in the middle, diving in the back lines. He's going to be dive. He's going to be doing all of that. And even though he has 600 HP and even though he does have a shield, if you have that Zarya bubble, that's just more time to get in the back lines and just get your hands dirty and get a lot of kills. So if you have that added bubble and add that added protection, you're just going to be in there for days. Along with that, you're this big freaking giant ball in the middle of everything. So of course people are going to be shooting you. So if you just wait a couple of seconds, the Zarya can easily bubble you, and you're going to be getting Zarya charge, getting Zarya ultimate charge. That is the most difficult part about Zarya. I'm sure Zarya mains hate this. Whenever they bubble someone and they don't get aggressive, they don't get in there, they're not like that. And that in turn means that she's not getting ultimate charge. Wrecking Ball, he is literally the definition of just, I'm going to get in there. I know I sound stupid, but it's just a perfect combination because Wrecking Ball added protection, and he's probably going to be getting Zarya ultimate charge, and also he's just this big target on the field. Plus on top of that, while it isn't the most ideal ultimate combo, Hammond's ultimate with Zarya's ultimate is somewhat decent. You know, obviously if you have a DPS ultimate like a Doomfist or a Genji or a Hanzo, you want to pair those ultimates up, but if they're not ready, Hammond is a good substitute because they can just place the minefields all around the heroes that got grabbed together, and they have to move eventually. It's going to be really hard to take out all those mines if they have no wiggle room. So that's why, you know, Zarya is just the perfect combination for Hammond if he needs a hero to play with. But now let's talk about healers when playing with Hammond. Now this is somewhat of an interesting section of the team composition when working around Hammond, because someone like Mercy, obviously she's a great healer, but she can't really be aggressive with Hammond. If she's pocketing the Hammond when he's diving in the back lines, that means Mercy has to dive in the back lines also, and Mercy's probably gonna get focused and killed if you're diving with Hammond. But it's just so hard to get rid of that res ability, but you just kind of have to with the play style of Hammond. So the best healer, the main healer that I chose with Hammond is gonna be Moira. Moira is one of those heroes that really works well with tanks, and obviously 600 HP, that's so ideal for Moira. So not only are you gonna be able to build your ultimate as Moira when healing healing wrecking ball or Hammond, however you call it. You're also going to be able to throw in a healing ball whenever he's diving in the back line just to give him a little bit more sustainability, and it's just kind of over at that point. So Moira, you know, she's not a bad healer, and she's somewhat of a decent substitute for Mercy if you don't really need that res. Like if you're just constantly just getting a lot of kills, yeah, that sustainability with Moira and that ultimate is well needed and it is pretty ideal. So that's why I chose it for Wrecking Ball. But now let's talk about a secondary healer. Now, while a secondary healer isn't always needed, it's kind of ideally needed, but you don't always have to run it. Someone like Lucio is pretty ideal for Hammond just because, well, again, he's going to be diving in the back lines. Now, if you remember the dive comp back with Winston, all you desperately really needed for that composition to work was a Lucio. There were some other things that you kind of needed, but you definitely needed a Lucio for it to work. Now, if you do want to run a dive comp with Hammond, you totally can because, well, he's going to be diving in whether you like it or not, or at least he should be. So Lucio is going to be very helpful to really just speed up the slow heroes, especially Zarya, who's having to carry all that muscle. She's going to really need that speed. So that's why I say Lucio is an ideal secondary healer. Again, I had trouble picking this because I almost thought of Zenyatta because, well, the Harmony Orb can go perfect with Hammond when he's diving in the back line and the Discord, but ultimately I just went with Lucio just to really speed up the slow heroes. However, if you have really fast heroes, like let's say like a Diva, and you have like a Tracer, and you have a Genji, you might not really need a Lucio and probably someone like a Zenyatta instead. So really just look at what everyone else insta-locked, and if you have really slow heroes, go with a Lucio. If you have really fast heroes, probably pick a Zenyatta unless you're still really good with Lucio. Now, in terms of picking DPS, it's not really the biggest concern when playing with Hammond, right? Because they don't feed off of each, or at least most of the time they don't feed off of each other. So literally it can be someone just who you're best with, but the best way that I see it is that if you have a Hammond on your team that's completely wrecking the enemy team, who is the enemy team gonna probably switch to? That's right, someone like Reaper. So that's who you need to keep in mind when picking some of your DPS heroes. So if you know that they're gonna play a Reaper or they're probably gonna switch to a Reaper, you need to keep that in mind. And the best hero that I came up with is someone like Mccree. Mccree is someone that can easily flash the Reaper and just fan the hammer. He can also just destroy him at a long range. And also with the recent buff, he's one of the greatest DPS, just greatest hit scans as it stands right now. And plus, Hammond is a little bit weak to Pharah, so if they do have the Pharah on the enemy team and you're playing a Hammond, then you probably want to play a hit scan like Mccree or maybe even a Soldier. But I just chose Mccree just because he can easily counter a Reaper, kind of take out the Pharah, and just really hold out on his own. But if you're like me and better with Soldier, then Soldier's a good substitute also. And the last DPS, again, it was sort of hard. I kind of chose Tracer, but it can also be Pharah. Heck, it can even be another tank because you are running the Moira. This is why Hammond is a pretty great hero, at least in my eyes, just because he's not a needy hero. Someone like Pharah, she needs that pharmacy. She needs that attention. She's like your ex-girlfriend. That's why you broke up with her. She needs all the attention that she can get. Hammond, he's a cute, adorable little hamster. Just feed him once and give him the Zarya, maybe throw in a Moira, and he's gonna be good. You can be free to pick the DPS that you want. But I chose Tracer just because, well, it's just more flanky. It's more angles that you can be attacking at. Hammond, he's going to get in the middle. He's going to be distracting the enemy team. You as Tracer, you can probably take out the Zenyatta. You can probably take out the Ana, possibly the Reaper if you're good enough. But you can also play a Pharah yourself if you're good enough. So really, as terms of DPS, I kind of had trouble picking this one. Maybe I haven't been playing with enough DPS to really say, hey, we need you as DPS. We need a Hanzo. We need a Genji. I just kind of say, hey, Zarya would be ideal. If not, I'm going to be doing my own thing. And overall, that is what I see as the perfect composition for Hammond, even though it is pretty flexible. It's similar like the dive comp. You just really needed the Winston and Lucio. If you threw in a Mercy or a Moira, it was ideal. From there, it's just flexible. Hammond is a very interesting hero, very dynamic hero, but he's still going to be that divey-esque hero. He's going to be diving in the back lines, taking out this slow heroes, or at least he should be, and just causing a bunch of mayhem. That's why I really want the Zarya, because Zarya is built for someone who's gonna get their hands dirty. She's not really gonna be bubbling like like a Zenyatta unless he's getting attacked by the Tracer, right? Because Zenyatta's not gonna be getting the mix of things, but Hammond really is. So anyway, guys, that is my video for today. Hopefully this video does help you in the near future, especially for competitive. That's my idea when making these videos, is that it's supposed to help you in comp and help you just make a better team comp and give you a better chance to win. So I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.